Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter's Movie Reviews. And today I am going to bring to you one of my favorite movies of life, and that is Home for the Holidays, starring Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr. This has been one of my favorite movies ever since it came out. It is also one of my cousin's favorite movies, my cousin Caroline. We love this movie so much. We always talk about how this movie is like our family growing up. It is so much like our family that last night when we were over at my cousin's house for Thanksgiving, we, towards the end of the night, you know, all the guys were watching football in the other room. So we were sitting on the couch in Caroline's little small living room area. And it was Caroline and I, my husband, my mother-in-law, Caroline's son's girlfriend, and her daughter-in-law. And we were all sitting in there, and Caroline goes, I want to watch Home for the Holidays. And I was like, oh my God, let's watch Home for the Holidays. And my husband goes, what year did it come out? And so we look it up. It came out in 1995. And my husband's like, that's really old. Which is crazy because I got sober December 17th of 1994, so I would have been 23 when this movie came out. And so Caroline's like, well, I want to watch it, and I want to watch it with Peter, and I think this will be so much fun. So we were so excited to watch it. Caroline's like, both Caroline and I watch it every year, usually the night before Thanksgiving, because the movie is about Thanksgiving. And so, so Caroline's like, I have to pay for it every year. I go, Caroline, I think I bought it a couple years ago. I was like, Caroline, why don't you just buy it? That way you don't have to keep on renting it. And she was like, shut up. Which is part of why we love this movie, because it's so much like us. So Holly Hunter plays the daughter, and Robert Downey Jr. plays her brother, who is gay. Okay, so Caroline is Holly Hunter, and I am the gay brother, Robert Downey Jr. in the movie. Okay, this is why we love the movie so much. So we're sitting there. My cousin Caroline had probably had, I don't know, a couple high noons by then. And so she's trying to figure it out on the remote and look it up. We figure out that it's on Paramount. So if you want to see it and you have Paramount, it's free on Paramount right now. It's so fantastic. But there's also some really, like, sad parts as well. It's just a fantastic movie about going home again as an adult, and I love this movie so much. So my husband's like, Caroline, give me the remote. So he gets the remote because she couldn't figure out how to like do the backspace on it and stuff like that, and we were laughing. We just got laughing so hard. So we started watching this movie last night. We probably got about 45 minutes into it, and then it was getting late, so I was like, let's go home. So when we were leaving, getting all of our leftovers and stuff, as you do on Thanksgiving, Caroline was like, still had the TV on, paused, and I said, are you going to watch the end of it? She goes, yeah, I'm going to watch the end of it. And so I said, gave her a big hug and stuff like that, and I said, okay, I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch it too. So came home, took a nap, and then I finished watching it, and then I watched Stranger Things. But anyway, so I had wanted to watch this on Wednesday night and do my reaction and review to it. I didn't really know. I was like, maybe I should do kind of a serious review, but I just want to share my love of this movie with you guys, and just anybody out there that wants to see it. I think it's so fantastic. Okay, so came home last night and I finished it, but I wanted to do it on Wednesday and have it ready for yesterday because it's Thanksgiving. But this movie would apply as like a Christmas movie as well. So like I said, it came out in 1995. I want to read the synopsis to you guys really quickly. When her teenage daughter opts out of Thanksgiving, single mother Claudia Larson, played by Holly Hunter, travels alone to her childhood home for an explosive holiday dinner with her dysfunctional family. Claudia quickly tires of her parents, her long-suffering sister, played by Cynthia Stevenson, who is fantastic, her snobby brother-in-law, played by Steve Guttenberg, and her nutty aunt, Geraldine, played by Geraldine Chaplin. But the events get interesting when sparks fly between Claudia and her brother's handsome friend, Leo Fish, who is played by Dylan McDermott. So the movie also stars Charles Durning and Anne Bancroft, and Claire Danes plays her daughter in it. Okay, so when it starts, Holly Hunter is... she's like she works in like an art museum, like refinishing art, like old art pieces, and she gets fired. That's how the whole thing starts. And she's really sick. She has a cold, and she lives in Chicago. So she's going to visit her parents. It looks like it's like in upstate Michigan or something, a small town. And she never wanted to go, like, she goes back home for holidays, but she won't go back home. And so she's like on the plane. The movie is like kind of a dark comedy. So she's like on the plane and she's calling her brother, who is played by Robert Downey Jr. And she's like, I can't believe you're making me do this Thanksgiving by myself. And she's like, I wish you were going to be there, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So then so she goes home, and some of the scenes at the beginning I had forgotten about are fantastic. There's a scene at the airport when she's in the car and her mom's like over her shoulder and she's like, you need to get your roots done. And she's smoking a cigarette like right in her face. The whole time Caroline was like, oh my God, this is my mom. I was like, Caroline, that is your mom. It was my Aunt Kathy so much. And then she looks over, they're like stuck in traffic getting out of the airport. I mean, in the movie, she's probably 40, and she looks over at this car next to her, and there's like, the dad's driving, and the mom is like over the front seat, like pointing at her son, and it's this guy, and he's like 42, and they both look at each other like, get me out of hell. And so she goes home, and it's about like her mom and dad are dancing and all this kind of stuff. And then, I don't want to ruin it for people that haven't seen it. It's just so fantastic. But her brother comes home and he brings, who is that? Why can't I never remember this guy's name? He was in Steel Magnolias. He played the husband. Dylan McDermott. He brings Dylan McDermott. Okay, so her brother is married to this guy named Peter. And so, is it Peter or is it Paul? Why can't I remember now? But anyway, I just watched it last night. So she thinks that he's like cheating on his boyfriend, that she finds out later is his husband, that she really, really likes this guy. And so she's like, you brought him home. But he actually brought home Dylan McDermott for her, okay? So it's kind of this slow progressing romance that happens over like 2 days. There's this huge snowfall that happens. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's a Thanksgiving Day dinner. Her sister, who tries to be like the perfect child and have everything perfect, like her and her sister get in this huge fight. They're like throwing food at the table. There's like this crazy aunt in there that like has like 260 plants. And then like at the Thanksgiving dinner, like she gets drunk on drinking like too much of this sweet wine, and she starts pledging her love to the aunt. Starts pledging her love, who's the mom's sister, starts pledging her love to Holly Hunter's aunt, starts pledging love to her mother, okay, or to her father, and saying we were always in love. And then Anne Bancroft plays the mother, and she wears all these crazy wigs in it. It is so fantastic. And then there's this scene, it's on the first night when Holly Hunter is in her childhood bedroom and Anne Bancroft comes in there to like take her clothes off. It's one of the best scenes I have ever seen in any movie. Like, this is never a movie that would be nominated for an Oscar. I love Anne Bancroft. I mean, 84 Charing Cross Road is one of my favorite movies. Night Mother, the Marcia Norman play, is one of my favorite movies of life with Sissy Spacek. So sad, but I love it. Anne Bancroft, just love. And there's a scene when Holly Hunter's laying in her bed and her mom comes in there to say goodnight to her, and she starts changing, and she's standing there in this bra smoking a cigarette, and she's looking in this full-length mirror at herself, and she's talking about as you get older and like the things you're willing to accept and the things, and it's so weird, like having watched this movie in 95, every year almost after, like I have the VCR tape down in the basement, all these years later, watching it now at 53 and like so much relating to so much of what she says in there. It's so fantastic. And so it's really about just like this brother and sister going home again and their relationship and their parents, and kind of like realizing that what we think we dislike the most about our parents or complain about our families the most is actually what we love the most. At the very end of it, and it is a romance too. It is a romance too with Claudia and Dylan McDermott's, Leo is his name in the movie. It is a romance, which is fantastic. But at the very end of it, when she's saying goodbye to her brother, I think she's saying, yeah, it's her brother. She says, and we get to do this all over again in 3 weeks. So Caroline and I, every time we leave on Thanksgiving, we always go, and we get to do this together again in 3 weeks. And so we love this movie so much. I wanted to share it with you guys for anybody that hasn't seen it. It's fantastic. Home for the Holiday, starring Holly Hunter, Robert Downey Jr., Charles Durning, and Anne Bancroft. It is currently on Paramount, but you can also rent it other places. Let me know if you've ever seen it. I love this movie so much. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.